Good evening, this is Lucky Links. So, what will bring wonder into your life at this time? Coming up right after this. Okay, guys, good evening. This is Lucky Links. Many of you who've seen me do the pick-up piles that I do, I thought I'd change it this time. I thought I'd change it up and make it a little more significant. I think when you've been doing this for as long as I've been doing it, you see a lot of things change. You see a lot of things in people's motivations change. You see a lot of things come in fashion, go out of fashion. I think people are not asking themselves, what would bring wonder in my life? I think people are asking the same old questions. I think they're asking about things that are bringing them pain, things that are elusive, things that feed their egos. They're asking about things that that flatter them. And when's the last time you had a reading that really just made you go, oh my God, that was so significant? And then you applied it and it actually made a change in your life. Because that's really why I got in this business, to actually help people make changes in their lives. And in Tibetan Bond, we work to help relieve people's sufferings, and in a lot of cases, when you just reinforce the habits or encourage people to reinforce the habits that are creating suffering, it just creates more suffering. But I think today what I want to look at, I want to do a reading on is what will actually bring wonder into my life. What would bring wonder back into my life? Especially that we're in a holiday season, and I think for children, when you watch children, there's so much wonder surrounding it. And then as we grow to be adults, what brings wonder? You know, the same old, buying more stuff or watching TV, or what would really bring wonder in my life? So I'm taking a risk here with this because I don't know what's going to come up. I'm going to use 3 different decks for this. You guys usually see me use one oracle, but I'm going to put one archetype. And this archetype is going to be what is standing in the way of bringing wonder in your life at this time. And then I'm going to choose an animal from this particular oracle that is an amazing it was a children's card game, but I converted it into an oracle. So we're going to pull an animal. We're going to see what is keeping the wonder from your life. What archetypal energy is keeping the wonder for your life. We're going to pick one animal, and I'm going to see how that plays out. And I'm going to use my new little, I got a new little Thoth deck in Old Sacramento on Christmas Eve when I went there to hang out from the lovely folks at a metaphysical store right there in the downtown. So I'm going to do, so let's start, I'm going to do 1 to 5, so you're going to take a deep breath and pick 1 to 5. And then I'm going to put one of these archetype cards down for each. This is the archetypal energy standing in your life from bringing wonder in your life. So this is what's keeping wonder from coming into your life at this time. And if you tuned into this, I'm assuming this particular subject is for you. So I'm assuming that something's, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and assume that something's inhibiting it. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then let's do one animal for each, and then I'm going to do what I always do and see how many cards come up for each pile. So that was 1 through 5. So pick a pile 1 to 5. All right, here we go. We got one animal for each. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then let me make sure I didn't put okay. And then I got, pile number 1's got 2 cards in it. Pile number 2's got 3 cards in it. 1, 2, 3. Pile number 3 has 4 cards and 5 cards. There's 2 options. And then I got pile number 5 has 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1 for number 1 and 8 for number 5. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's a message in each one of those piles. So let's see if you pick pile number 1, let's see what we got going on here. So the archetypal energy standing in your way is, what is it? Oh, the king. Okay. So in this particular case, the archetypal energy that's standing in your way is you have aligned yourself to someone else's rule, someone else's values that don't necessarily serve your highest purpose. So there is a you right now that is trying to express itself in this world. It is trying to wake you up to what you really are. It's trying to get you to see that what you are living in is not what you think it is. And what's standing in your way of really seeing the wonder of what is happening in the world, the wonder that you're really trying to see is you've aligned yourself to someone else's beliefs. And these particular beliefs have to do with parental beliefs. They have to do with established beliefs in terms of politics. They have to do with governmental beliefs. They have to do with values of other people that have been installed in your mind that are preventing you from actually seeing what the real wonder of the world is. So that's the first piece, all right? The animal I knew the eagle was going to come up. What this is suggesting is that the individual who truly wishes to fly high, the individual that truly wishes to attain freedom, must take responsibility for his or her own thoughts, his or her own beliefs, his or her own security, his or her own health and well-being, and they can't really let other people make those decisions for them. And then there's a great many things right now in the world that would fit into this, that would call themselves letting someone else make those decisions for them. So these beliefs, these ideals that have been installed that are not really in line with who you really are preventing you from real freedom. And one who is to be really free has to make a decision that they are not going to let anyone else make those decisions or choices for them. But the other side of that comes great responsibility. So really what this particular energy of the eagle is telling me is there is tremendous amount of responsibility that one must adopt if one is willing to face the responsibility of becoming free and of truly rising above. And if what these people in the spiritual movement are talking about is really true, that people have so much more potential than they really see, which I believe, then no one is going to come down and fix it for you. No holy council is going to come down and rewire it for you. An eagle knows the secret of freedom. The eagle knows the secret of flying high. If one really wants to fly high, one has to do it on their own wings. They cannot sit back. They cannot wait for someone to come down and provide that for them. And no eagle would inspire the awe that eagles inspire. And if you've ever seen one up close and personal, they are really inspiring. No one who really wants that kind of freedom, that really wants that kind of flight, is going to let anyone else provide that for him. And no eagle who actually was worth his talons would let anyone provide it for him. All right? So then we got 2 cards here that I'm going to ask for it. And this one's real easy. It's time to say goodbye to that work that's standing in your way. That's first. Second, practice makes perfect. And just because one relationship ended or faded or broke or is left you wanting doesn't mean that you're broken, and other people's sadness and worries don't mean that you're broken. And it takes a while to perfect what is really important. And if you're really to learn how to fly, that takes the ability to dust yourself off from disappointment and failure and misstep and practice to become something much bigger. And in that everyday practice, you can recognize the wonder of what it would be to really be independent and to really be free. And I don't think people recognize how wonderful or wondrous freedom really would be. Okay? So I think that's what I've got to say about number 1. There's one more thing I'm going to add to this. Start to look at the wondrousness of all the people that have shown up in your life and the role that they play. And the possibility that perhaps you have known these people before for a reason, and perhaps that they are in your life now for a reason. And I would like to add to this, to add to the idea of wonder today. There is no such thing as coincidence. There is only inevitability. Okay, for those of you who picked pile number 2, the archetypal energy that is keeping you from seeing the wonder. Now this one's really about getting so into your own habits and so wrapped up in your own beliefs and so isolated that you close yourself off. So whether for hurt, for enthusiasm being squashed, for having taken on a lot of responsibility in life, whatever the reason, there are many things that sort of pull us down and keep us sort of pulling into ourselves, and we go inside and we stay inside and we forget that the world is out there. This particular archetypal energy is reminding us the world is out there, and in order for you to see the wonder, it's not building your own tiny little cocoon and staying in it. It means that you have to recognize that the world is out there and that the magic and the wonder of it comes from connecting to other people. And this particular archetype, when he's really or she's really at their best, they become a networker, they become someone who can actually connect with other people and lead people to what's really important, what's really valuable, what really has meaning. And they can be the go-between. But they can't do that if they're stuck on the inside and going internal and staying completely within themselves and closing themselves off from other people. So this one is warning that what's standing in the way of really truly seeing wonder in the world is closing off from other people. To that, I am going to add the seal. Okay, so the sea lion is saying that there is a challenge that's being placed before you guys to actually go with it. So, in order for you to get out of this place where you've sort of gone internal, or you've separated yourself from others, or you're isolated from yourself or others, you have to go with it. You have to be willing to take a little adventure, and you have to go into waters that maybe are a little deeper and a little uncomfortable, and see if you can adapt and go with the flow. This one is really coming up about taking a risk. And what risk can you take that will put you out of what you're used to, put you in a new position so that you're forced to actually develop some new skills, new potentials, new possibilities, and new relationships. With that, here's these 3. I got the High Priestess, I got the Priestess, the Emperor, and I got the 9 of Wands. All right, so what this one is telling me if you don't, there's an old saying, if you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. So if I put these 3 pieces together, not going internal and isolating yourself for other people, the need to take a risk, to be more fluid and to go with it, and the need to stand for something, really stand for something, is telling me that it's been easier for you to close yourself off and back down than actually stand for something and actually take a risk and actually go into unfamiliar, deeper waters. It is time for you to get out of the place where you settle for, where you allow someone else's whatever, bullying or their ideals or their challenges. They're challenging you. It's time to start challenging back. So how can you start challenging back and put yourself into waters where you're uncomfortable? How can you challenge other people instead of just backing down and going into your own shell? How can you stand for something? And what would you like to stand for? And how could standing for something in your life teach you and bring you to a place where wonder awakens? Because when we truly are who we are, without hiding, without backing down, without other people determining that for us, without just saying, well, it's too much to be out there and to face and create conflict or to challenge. There is going to come this year a need for you to actually to stand up. So hiding is not going to work for you. If you really want to experience wonder, you have to stand for something. What is it that you would like to stand for? And what do you think you could learn from that? This is going to take you into deeper waters that you might find a little uncomfortable. But if you do it right, you'll learn how to swim those new waters, and you'll be able to become a whole new being with a whole new sense of your own capabilities, which is a way to bring wonder into your life. Okay, so that's number 2. Let's move on to number 3. What do we got here, number 3? What's standing in your life is the Messiah. Okay, that's a tricky one. Oh, this is uncomfortable. All right, but that's okay. I'm not really big on flattery for the sake of flattery. I think there's far too much flattery going on in this whole quote unquote spiritual community. The Messiah is saying that you're thinking that you have it all figured out and that you've already been there, you already done it, you already know it, is preventing you from actually seeing the real wonder, because that kind of pride blinds you to real magic. That's the first thing. The second thing is the honey badger. When that pride or that I know it all is challenged, this rises up and wants a fight. There is no real authority if you can't face someone questioning or asking you a question or bringing a new perspective, and you think, okay, wait a minute, I don't have it all figured out. I am not the source for everything in the world. Everything does not have to flow through me. And if you recognize that, you don't have to get your back up all the time. You don't have to always defend. You don't have to be on the defense. And you don't have to always jump on the opportunity and be the one who grabs it and hoards it. In the same sense, knowing this leaves the possibility for new learning and new wonder and new experiences and new possibilities to come in your life. And this is particularly interesting in this spiritual community, because I see people all the time, they got it all figured out. There's 5 or 6 concepts going around right now, things like manifesting and law of attraction and these particular psychic bestsellers, and a couple of and they've read their books, and that's it. I've got it all figured out. I've got the answer for you. And sometimes the advice that I hear people giving, I'm like, I know where it's going to lead, because it's based on something that doesn't have any tradition that's proven that it can actually create change. They're actually just spitballing it. They're making it up based on something they read, having not really tested it. So I see that happening a lot. There's a lot of people out there, they think they're the Messiah. It comes through them. Oh, I got it all figured out. Boom, boom. I got an answer for you. Boom, 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 boom. Without ever saying, hey, you know what? Let me think about this for a minute. I don't know. They got all the answers right, and it's like they're memorized. It's memorized from a book, oh, the book says this. That's not how real wonder happens. Wonder happens when you come upon something that makes you go, what the F is this? And I can't tell you how many times recently, especially in my Tibetan cosmology training or in dealing with the unseen world, where I've gone, what the hell is this? And then I go, oh great, this is a moment to learn something new. There is so much more out there. I love that phrase from Shakespeare's Hamlet. There's far more in heaven and earth that is dreamt of in your philosophy, Horatio. That's what this one is all about. If you want to really experience wonder, then you should realize there's far more in heaven and earth that is dreamt of in your philosophy. And just because you read a book, or someone read a book to you, or maybe you had a few experiences, this results in jadedness, a hard, arrogant armor, and an inability for wonder to get in because of pride and anger. Okay? So then I got two options here now. In one case, I got art, I got the sun, I got oppression, and I knew this before I even before I even picked up the cards. I knew I could feel it when this means that in some case it may be that you are at the mercy of someone who has put this on you, and you have felt so oppressed by it, then you've been afraid to allow anything new in your life and accepted that as the thing that's been holding you down and preventing you from experiencing that wonder. And this one, then, I think, is for those who have, yep. Okay. This one suggests that for those of you who fall in this category here, where you've actually gotten to the point where you believe you've been there, done that, something is coming in this new year that is going to crack you wide open and cause, this is the Tower and Death. This does not look, or actually, no, it's not Tower. It's, I got the Knight of Wands, I got the Queen of Wands, and I got Death. And I got the Four of Swords, which is saying that the peace of mind, and then this is the Four of Wands. I got the equilibrium, peace of mind, the established, I've got it all figured out, I am the authority. It's gonna fall. Death is gonna come to it, which means that it's going to be challenged, and you're going to be forced one way or another to see that there's new possibilities. Now, if you resist that, it's going to be very painful. If you go with it, wonder can really come into your life. And in the first instance, where you're finding someone's putting you in a position because of their arrogance, their, back up against the wall, I've done it all, I know it all, I've figured it out, and you have to conform to it. It's time to start asking the question, why? And that one little question, why, can bring amazing wonder into your life. Okay, so let's go on. Number 4, the one standing in the way is the rescuer, believing that you have to heal and or rescue everyone or everything. Now, I see this a lot of time. People think that I'm the healer. I have to heal everyone and everything. Not necessary. I have to rescue everyone, everything. There is a wonderful phrase from one of the parables that Jesus said. He said, take the plank out of your eye before you try to take a splinter out of someone else's. What prevents you from seeing the wonder is you trying to fix other people before you even recognize what your own ability, talent, strength, and power is. Now, some people might think that that's putting them down, but I'm saying that this is a magical thing, that you don't try to actually rescue someone else until you figured out what the thing is that is really your life preserver in life. And some people are doing that without recognizing what their own talent, what their own gift, what their own amazing ability is. They're trying to rescue or put something on someone else. Figure it out for yourself first. Take the plank out of your eye before you take the splinter out of someone else's. And you guys got the wild card, which I think just reinforces that. This one means that you're in for a big surprise. You don't really know what it is that you have at your core. And if you just let this go, first of all, you'd feel relieved. And second of all, there's a possibility for a whole bunch of new things to come in. And I'm going to add to that with these 1, 2, 3, 4, I think there were 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards. I got, that means you got to be patient with yourself. I got the Prince of Cups, I got the Queen of Cups, I got the Pain. Okay, so this has to do with relationships. All right, this has to do with relationships. Okay, there's two different ways I'm gonna approach this. One, you cannot have someone else rescue you through a relationship. So if you're trying to get someone to come along and save you through a relationship and help wake up your spirit by meeting this person who's going to save you, that's going to put them in an awful position, and it is going to crush the wonder of you actually seeing what's inside of you. Because what you're doing then is you're giving your power to someone else, and you will not know what your own power is, your own ability, and you can't see the wonder of the world if you can't see the wonder of your own power. That's first. Secondly, this is layered. Feeling guilty and as though it's your obligation to run around and fix everyone and everything is creating health challenges. It's creating a great deal of mental pain. And if you're getting to the position in some of your cases where you have to use some kind of drug to help keep this going, it is a huge sign that that drug is actually stopping you from seeing the wonder of the world, whether it's prescription or otherwise. And the last one, the last opportunity I had, the last one is if you spend so much time focused on everyone, there's another option here for folks. You spend so much time worrying about everyone else's, what's going on in everyone else's relationships, you have no time for your own. And that's one of the things that's preventing you from experiencing, actually connecting with another person, because you're living vicariously through other people's relationships. And how can you have the wonder of actually connecting one-on-one with any kind of person, friendship, lover, otherwise, unless you actually can meet a person where they're at and be open and honest. And if you're using this, I've got to save this person, I've got to save this person, you're using it as an excuse to not live your own life. You're involving yourself in everyone else's lives so you don't have to actually feel and experience what your life is capable of. All right, that was number 4. Hey, we got one more. Last one, 5. For number 5, I got the Teacher. I'm going to see what the animal is. Oh. All right. What's preventing you from... you may have hooked yourself up with someone who taught you something that is more superstition than it is practical. You may be trying to teach, you may be trying to teach or share something to other people now that you haven't quite figured out yourself. The animal that goes with it is it's the tarantula. This one has to do with fear. It also has to do with things moving under the surface. It also has to do with predatory. I'm trying to put these two pieces together here because they seem somewhat You're in a position where you're trying to teach, defend, and care for someone, and it may be preventing you from actually connecting to the person you're kind of protect or care for. That's the first piece. I'm looking at these 3 because I got the Princess of Discs here right now. Okay, that's the first one. Second, are some actual teachers out there who may be involved in this. What you're teaching is not showing you the bigger picture of everything and how it works together the way you would like it. And to be able to see how the whole picture fits together in a grander scale is the answer to finding the wonder in your life. Okay? And then there's one more thing about this. What would bring wonder in your life would be the ability to communicate what it is that you're really good and really know how to do. So what do you know how to make? What do you know how to build? What do you know how to create? Is there a way that you could share that with other people and watch the wonder and experience the wonder of what happens when you do? If it's a child, if it's a student, if it's someone else, if it's just someone to share with, try that this cycle and see what wonder it brings into your life. And then I got these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got the hermit again. Okay. I got the hermit. I got the ten of swords. I got the 3 of coins. Okay, 6 of cups. All right, and then the 5 of. All right, I see what's going on here. I got the 5 of swords. I got the chariot. I got the universe, and I got the six of discs, and the universe, and the chariot, and the 5 of swords. So this is give yourself a chance to learn. Okay, that's the first thing. Give yourself a chance to learn during this cycle. If there's something new that you would like to experience and go into and venture out into, give yourself the patience and the possibility and the freedom to learn it and not having to have it all perfect first. That's the first thing. Second, if there is something that you would like to learn to do and like to share and teach others to do, don't start by saying, how can I make a living doing this? Start by saying, what is really important in this subject matter that I would like to learn? And how can I be the best I possibly can at learning to do so? Thirdly, how can you, there's another option here too. How could you dive in to what it is you love and you're passionate about so deeply, so passionately that becomes the thing that takes over your life that you have to do, and then that passion is something you can share with others so that you could become so involved in that thing that you love. It becomes so much about, I have to do this because I love this, I have to do this because I'm good at this, I have to do this because I have to share it. And then share it without worrying about where it's going to take you monetarily or life, lifestyle-wise. Just do it because you love to do it, and how could you share it with others, and where do you think that could possibly leave you in terms of what you learn? And then for those of you who don't know what your passion is, that's the other thing. It's like, what could you do this time to actually get back to that moment in your life where you did feel passion, and ask yourself, when you did, what was there? And I got a clue for you. If it's someone else, if it's another person, if it was a relationship, then that wasn't your real passion. Because if you're only passionate about another person, then somehow you've misplaced that passion that's really yours, that thing that's really yours. So how could you figure out this cycle, what you're really passionate about? Because the thing that would really be wonderful would be to dive into your passion, your creative passion, and express it in a way to other people that shares your knowledge with them and makes their life better for it. All right? So that's it. Those are the 5 piles. I am Lucky Links, as always, wishing you success and good fortune in all that you do. Hey guys, if you would like to get a reading, 779-302-8009 or conjurehope@gmail.com. Also, I'm doing Tibetan charts. We are coming up on the year of the metal rat. We are currently in the year of the earth pig. The earth pig will be hanging on for about till the end of February. It is a perfect time to look at what's coming. Nothing I have ever seen in all the years I have been doing this is more accurate or more interesting in relating to career, compatibility, relationships. There are 4 animals that you have going on in your life. There's 4 miwa that you got going on in your life. By the way, someone sent me one of those calculators, those Tibetan astrology calculators. He said, hey, you put your numbers in, it tells you everything. It's so wrong, I cannot even tell you. There's a couple of things on there that were right, but in terms of like the miwas and how you analyze that stuff, and then there's another piece having to do with the I Ching that isn't even involved in there, and it's like there's a lot we do in calculating it. So if you'd like to get your chart done, contact me, 779-302-8009, conjurehope@gmail.com. I will be opening to businesses very soon. Actually, I do have right now, I have some businesses I'm working with to, I have helped some businesses right here in Napa increase using Tibetan processes, using Kilcore and astrology. If you'd like that done, we can talk about that, 779-302-8009. If you want your Kilcore done, that's where I make a map of your life, and then I use Tibetan processes to help send things into motion, to remove obstacles. Quite often, when I do a Kilcore with someone, there's usually a little wait. There's like, I'm usually so busy I can't do same day with people. So it's usually at least a couple days before I can take an appointment. But I usually start employing some Tibetan processes with the Kilcore before I even get to the reading with them. And people call me and say, the obstacle's already moved. They're like, I want to cancel. The obstacle's already removed. I'm like, no, I've been working on this for 3 days already. And that's why the obstacle's lifted. So there's stuff that can happen with the Tibetan bond process to remove obstacles, to set things into motion. There's all sorts of things that can go on that way. So contact me if you want to talk about that, talk about the process and how to do it and what it costs and everything. And I think that's it. Hey, if you like these videos and you want to donate to help keep them coming, then I'm going to put my PayPal and my Venmo below. Enjoy the season. Enjoy the holiday. Have a happy Western New Year here, and the Tibetan New Year is coming in February, which we're looking forward to. That is our big celebration, and there will be a lot of changes in the coming year. It's going to be an extraordinary year of changes, I will tell you that, from what I've seen so far. So careful out there right now. The astrological energy today is one of fighting. Tomorrow and the next day will be more genial, more geared towards things like parties and stuff like that. But be careful not to overindulge in those situations, because whenever you overindulge in one element, you naturally draw the other element. It's one of the things that people don't realize, and that's one of the things that I think people are limited by in a lot of these, in a lot of the methods that people are using, is they don't recognize that when something is at its height, when there's an excess of a certain element, it means that the other element is going to be drawn to it shortly after. The opposite, the opposing element, will come very quickly. So if you have a certain overabundance of one element in your life, or 2 elements in your life, it's going to draw some changes on the way. So the trick is to find out what that change is and how to mitigate it if you don't want it, or to encourage it if you do want it. All right, so you guys, enjoy yourselves. Have a great rest of the holiday season, and I'll talk to you guys soon.